It is showtime. Welcome, everybody to the live stream. It is Thursday. It is 5 o'clock. Super excited for Thanksgiving coming next week. So we will not be here, but tonight we're here. We've got a lot to go over. We're going to talk about mortgage rates and what kind of impact that might be having on the real estate market. Obviously, the holidays are here, so there are some fun events coming up. I'm going to talk very briefly about why retirees love Lakewood Ranch. The statistics just came out from the Real Estate Association today, so I'm going to briefly go over those. But as we do with every one of our live streams, first of all, drop a comment down below. Let us know where you guys are watching from. It is the end of November, which means winter is upon us. Well, it's upon you. I live in Florida, although today was kind of chilly. But either way, when I think of winter, I think of cold and snow. Well, not really. I live in Florida. But anyway, cold and snow kind of reminds me of Colorado, which reminds me of Breckenridge, Colorado, which brings me to this week's bourbon, which is Breckenridge bourbon whiskey. If you've been watching for a while, this is how I'd like to start off my live streams. Why, you ask? Well, if you're just tuning in for the first time, wondering why the heck this real estate agent is talking about bourbon and drinking bourbon on his live stream. I watch a lot of live streams. I watch a lot of real estate agents live stream. They're always drinking coffee and green juice. And that's not me. I like those. I like coffee, drink it every day. I like green juice, but certainly not at 5 o'clock at night. So I like to do a little tasting and share with you some of the things that I am passionate about. So yes, it is Breckenridge, Colorado. And let me correct my notes here. This is a blend reserve. This is not just their regular Breckenridge bourbon, but I like it because it's 86 proof, which, you know, on the low end, and it's a 43% alcohol by volume. So cheers. Oh, so good. So I got some notes. Each reserve blend we release is blended to have unique expressions that bring out the classic flavors of bourbon. So brown sugar, a little molasses, a little caramel, a little bit of orange peel, maybe some cardamom, some vanilla, definitely some rye spice. So here's what they have to say on their website. Breckenridge Distillery is the world's highest distillery, no pun intended. I'm sure there was a little pun intended. Founded in 2008. We are most widely known for our blended bourbon whiskey, a high rye mash American style whiskey. Our Breckenridge bourbon is one of the most highly awarded craft bourbons in the U.S. I think they all say that. The Breckenridge Distillery is proudly a 3-time icon of whiskey and 10-time winner of Best American Blended winner at the World Whiskey awarded by Whiskey Magazine, and a 4-time winner of Colorado Distillery of the Year by the New York International Spirits Competition. If you're drinking, drink along with me, whether that's a bourbon, whether that's water, whether that's iced tea, whether that's green juice. I like to start off my live streams like this. We're delving in. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and get to our featured article of the week. Do me a favor to drop a comment down below. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Anything exciting? All right, so we're going to talk about mortgage rates and what kind of effect it might have on the real estate market. Mortgage rates may be stabilizing after the election. Here's what to expect in 2025. All right, so some key points. The average 30-year fixed rate mortgage in the United States slightly dipped to 6.78 for the week ending November 14th, barely changed from 6.79 a week prior. That's according to Freddie Mac. I did pull up the statistics right before the live stream. 7.04. The stabilization may be a good sign for the housing market. When rates are moving around, a lot of people... it causes a lot of uncertainty in the market. So let's go ahead and read this article. We're going to talk about, obviously, what kind of impact this is having nationwide. I'm going to drill down a little bit, talk about what kind of impact I think it's having in the Florida market. Then we'll drill down a little further and talk about what kind of impact it might be having in Sarasota, Manatee County. Like I said, the statistics just came out today from the Real Estate Association. I'm not going to dig into the entire thing, but there's definitely some numbers, whether you're a buyer or a seller, that you should probably be aware of. So let's kind of jump into the article. So mortgage rates seem to have steadied. According to that graph, kind of sort of steady. That does not really look steady to me. This came from CNBC. Take that for what it's worth. That may be a good sign for the market, experts say. Now, I saw that headline. I was like, good for the market, stabilizing at 7%. Now, we've talked about this before. Obviously, you see this graph here. That's an excessive graph from 2021 all the way up to today. You can see it rising. But if you go look at the history, like 6 and 7% is not out of the normal. We just have to get used to for many years, 4%, 3%, 2+%. Anyway, even though it's higher than it has been over the course of several weeks, it's probably good news for home buyers. Man, I don't know, maybe just my personal opinion, that seems like a lot of spin, because I'll be honest, from my experience and probably other agents or even home buyers around the country, nobody's jumping up and down saying is good news for home buyers at 7%. Now, I understand why they're saying that one. Let's drill down. When rates are moving around a lot, it makes a lot of uncertainty in the market. That is true. Mortgage rates declined this fall in anticipation for the first interest rate cuts since March 2020, but then borrowing costs jumped up again this month as the bond market reacted to Donald Trump's win. If you pay attention to the bond market, you know when it looked like he was going to win. Yeah. While the president-elect has talked about bringing mortgage rates down, the presidents do not control borrowing costs for home loans. I'm sorry. Yeah. So instead, mortgage rates closely track Treasury yields and are particularly affected by what happens with the federal fund rate. These foresee inflationary policies, whether it's tariffs or greater government spending, the tax bill, they're pricing in more inflation. This is coming from the CEO of the National Association of Home Builders. As the bond market reacts, mortgage rates are going to react to that too. Less volatility can be a good sign, chief economist for Redfin. That is true. High volatility by itself actually pushes mortgage rates even higher above Treasury yields. More stable rates also mean that home buyers don't have to worry during their home search about what their budget allows for changing. Now, that was interesting because if you are a home buyer and you get pre-approved for a loan, your lender can only lock in the rate for so long. So if you get pre-approved and you're not looking for a house for, 60 days or 90 days, or you maybe haven't found the right home, your lender cannot lock in that rate. So let's just say it drops down to 6.5% and you don't find anything and it jumps up to 7.04%. Anyway, that's why they're talking about that. So more stable rates also mean that home buyers don't have to worry during their home search about what their budget allows for changing. The Trump team did not respond to a request for comment, not surprising. Don't expect huge swings on mortgage rates. Now, I've heard a lot about this for quite some time and have been very consistent on my messaging that nobody who's anybody in the mortgage, treasury, financial business has said that interest rates are not going to have huge swings. We've been hearing that for a long time. Almost nobody thinks that interest rates are going to be in the 5% next year. Let's talk about that though. Election uncertainty contributed to an upward swing in mortgage rates during October. When rates went up even more last week as the stock, rates went up even more last week as the stock market and yields reacted to the election results. Did you hear there was an election? Yeah, I heard about that. Did you hear who won? Let's skip over this part about the Treasury yield, kind of boring. Now that we have a president-elect, mortgage rates are expected to gradually come down over time. Now, with that said, nobody I know has said anything about them coming down lower than 6%. So from a monetary policy standpoint, future rate cuts are up in the air. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Thursday that strong U.S. economic growth will allow policymakers to take their time in deciding how far and how fast to lower interest rates, hopefully sooner than later. If the Fed continues to ease the federal fund rate, it could provide indirect downward pressure on mortgage rates. However, improved growth expectations would lead to higher rates, as would larger government deficits. Experts say that mortgage rates might head into a bumpy or volatile path over the next year. That's what I'm expecting as a real estate agent. I don't think that there's going to be any huge swings down into the 5% range. Our expectation is that rates are going to be in the 6% as we move into 2025. And again, by all accounts, I've shown these graphs before. Anybody thinks that interest rates are going to be in the fives. Maybe a couple people said by this time next year, they might jump into the high 5%. Anyway, so how buyers and sellers and homeowners can benefit. This I thought was interesting. Rates that are trending lower can present an opportunity for buyers who have been house hunting for a while, especially as the winter season kicks in. Competition tends to slow in the winter months, in part because home buyers with children are in the middle of the school year and reluctant to move. We've heard that before too, that people don't buy during the holidays. I've sold lots of houses during the holidays. I have bought a house during the holidays, and have helped buyers buy homes during the holidays. As much, I don't take that for what it's worth. I guess statistically there is a little drop, but not much. We always tell people that it's a great time to sell and or buy during the holidays because there tends to be less competition. Current homeowners can also make the most of lower rates. For example, if you bought your home, this I thought was interesting too. If you bought your home around this time last year when mortgage rates peaked at around 8%, you might benefit from a mortgage refinance. It makes sense to consider refinance if rates have fallen 1 or 2 points since you took out the loan. I thought that was interesting too. He's from Bankrate who said that. Remember that a loan refinance isn't free. It's not for free. So if you are going to refinance, regardless of what the interest rates are, it's not free. Talk to your lender. If you don't have a lender, we can definitely hook you up with a great lender here. While the total cost depends on your area, a refinance is going to cost between 2 and 6% of the loan amount. That's from somebody at LendingTree. If you're pondering on whether or not to refi or not, look what's going on with the rates, reach out to lenders and see if refinancing makes sense for you. We tell that to the buyers all the time. Homeowners have earned record home equity. U.S. homeowners with mortgages have a net home equity of over $17.6 trillion in the second quarter of 2024. That's according to CoreLogic. Home equity increased in the second quarter of this year by $1.3 trillion, an 8% growth from year to year. Let's talk about how bad the economy is, right? If you're looking to sell your current home, you may be able to counteract slightly higher borrowing costs on your next property by placing a large down payment. So take that for what it is worth. Drop a comment down below. What's your thoughts? Interest rates going to stop you from buying a home this year? Interest rates going to stop you from selling a home this year? Now, I've talked about this before. We've seen the statistics that say something like 65% of homeowners have an interest rates below 4%. And I think 50% said that they have no intentions of selling their home until interest rates get below 5%, which is terrible all around. I get it. There are people who feel like they are stuck in their homes because of their interest rates only, which is a terrible situation to be in. We know people like that one. They bought their home during the pandemic. Now that we're past the pandemic a couple of years, they don't love their house. They don't love the state that they moved to. And now they're stuck because interest rates are 7%. They have a 2% interest rate, a 3% interest rate, and they don't want to lose out on that one. So they're stuck in their house. So 50% of homeowners have no intentions of selling until interest rates get below 5%. And nobody thinks that interest rates are going to get into the 5%, let alone below 5%. It's a massive issue. We talked about this last week on the live stream about trying to build our way out of this massive issue. Even if Trump puts together all of his plans and his policies, it's going to be tough to build ourselves out of there. Anyway, it is a just disaster coming to happen. So let's talk a little bit about how this is going to impact Florida. That's kind of how it impacts nationwide. But high rates could slow migration trends to Florida, potentially affecting demand in the state's booming markets, meaning that people might not move to Florida and buy a home, whether it's their full-time home, second home, vacation property, because interest rates are so high. Investors and second home buyers, a significant portion of Florida's market, may pull back due to increased borrowing costs. Now, I know your first reaction is, well, most of those investors are paying cash. We're going to talk about that with the statistics. You might be surprised. Supply remains tight, driving competition and keeping home prices relatively stable during higher financing costs. Now, I know, because I've been doing videos for a long time. I hear all the time, not so much anymore. People are thinking that the market's going to crash and the housing market's going to, just explode and prices are going to come crashing down. They haven't yet. We're starting to see a little shift in the Florida real estate market. I can't speak specifically to the rest of the country, but we're definitely seeing like homes that are priced right are selling. Homes that are overpriced are still sitting in the market. Anyway, the Florida market may see tempered growth as higher rates challenge affordability for both local buyers and out-of-state relocators. However, the state's lower tax burden and attractive lifestyle may continue to support a steady demand, meaning that people still might move here because it's Florida, the weather's great, the tax incentives are awesome, and it's all about the lifestyle, right? Thus, the 9R1 lifestyle group. All right, let's talk about specifically Sarasota and Manatee counties, what kind of impact this could possibly have. So Sarasota and Manatee counties might experience slowed down buyer activity, which we are definitely seeing, particularly among retirees and remote workers relocating for lifestyle reasons. We are definitely seeing that one. So the analysis of might experience a slow buyer activity is definitely true. Higher rates may deter some luxury home buyers, a key segment in these counties, from making immediate purchases. For sure, if you're buying a $2, $3, $4, $10 million house and financing, you might be holding off for a while, holding on to your cash and considering financing, but at 7%, they may hold off. Local inventory constraints may offset demand slowdowns. That is true. And again, first-time home buyers and middle market purchasers may face the greatest challenge as affordability declines. We have been seeing that for years, and we're seeing that all over the country. Obviously, I'm in touch with lots of real estate agents. Like I mentioned, I watch a lot of YouTube channel live streams with real estate agents all over the country. One, because I want to see what's working for them. Plus, I want to hear what's happening with the real estate markets in their area. So the Sarasota Manatee housing market, driven by lifestyle appeal and affluent buyers, may show resilience against broader market slowdowns. However, affordability pressures could lead to slower growth and reduced market activities, particularly in non-luxury segments. So that takes me to talking about the statistics that just came out today. I'm going to take a moment, have a little sip of bourbon. If you're just tuning in, that is the Breckenridge bourbon whiskey. That is their blend reserve blend, a blend reserve blend. Right, so these statistics just came out. And I'm not going to go through them all, but there's definitely some I wanted to bring up. So these are the statistics for single-family homes in Manatee County, Sarasota County. Going back to what I was talking about earlier with investors, in October 2024, the number of transactions who paid cash in Manatee County is down 29%. That's a huge number. And in Sarasota County, it was down 17.4%. Both huge numbers. The number of closed sales were down in both counties. In Manatee County, it was pretty significant at 22.8% over the same time last year. But the two big numbers that I always pay attention to, and the ones I always like to bring up in these videos, are the median time to contract and the median time to sell. So the median time to contract, from the day it was listed, how long did it take before it went into escrow, right? Buyer and seller come to agreement. It is pending. It is in escrow. The median time to sell, from the time it was listed, how long did it take to finally close? Buyers get the keys in their hand. In Manatee County, they're pretty significant. The median time to contract is 60 days. Just for reference point, in 2023, October 2023, the average day or the median days was 29 days. That is an increase of 106.9%, 106%. That's huge. And then the median time to sell in Manatee County, 113 days. That number is also up 36.1%. In Manatee County, it's a little better, in Sarasota County, it's a little better. The median time to contract, 49 days. Although that number is up 69% over the same time last year. And then the median time to sell is 94 days. And that number is up 34.3%. So it's definitely having an impact on our market. Again, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the mortgage rates. And drop a comment down below whether or not you're thinking about moving to this area. All right, so I had a question come in the other day forgot to put the little display. So I'm just going to tell you what the question was. And by the way, we have 2 YouTube channels. The one you're currently watching, 941 Lifestyle Group. We have a second channel, which is 941 Premier Home Tours. That one is just home tours, a lot of model home tours. Some of our listings are in there. So for those of you who love to see properties in and around the Sarasota, Manatee area, that's a great channel. But this comment that I got came in on the home tour channel. And I've heard this one before too. My response is almost always the same. And it was a comment on a model home tour. Somebody's like, hey man, you got to put the price in the video. Here's why I didn't put the price in the video, but I tend to not put the price in the video, especially when it's a model home, for a couple reasons. One, a lot of times that model home is already sold. 2, even if it is not sold, the model homes, almost anywhere in the country this happens, it's a model home. Those builders deck that out with all of the upgrades. That is not the base model house. And maybe this is the same everywhere. Not 100% sure. Drop a comment down below. Unless you are buying that exact model home on that exact lot, the price I give you is completely irrelevant. Now I can give you the base model, and sometimes I do that, but sometimes it winds up being kind of unfair because I've seen it before too, where you go, the base model is $700,000, and you go, wow, fantastic. But you're talking about a swimming pool and a hot tub and a cage and crown molding and quartz countertops and different handles and different features and different floorings. And plus the lot can be different. There's different lot prices, usually just like 2, 3, 4, 5 different lot prices. And now all of a sudden that $700,000 house is a $2 million house. That happens. So anyway, to answer the question why I don't put the prices in some of those videos, that is the reason. Now, if you want the specific price, you can always call me, text me, email me. Call me is best. Sometimes emails get lost. All right. So next thing I want to dive into is something that somebody had brought up to us the other day. We've done a couple of videos on the channel about this. But somebody asked, why are retirees loving Lakewood Ranch? By the way, too, there was an article and a video that I did just today, too, that Sarasota was number 4 on a list of like the top 100 places to retire. I didn't see that article before I wrote this one. I decided not to change it, but they're kind of getting the same. You know, Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, they're right next to each other. Lakewood Ranch is now in Sarasota County, so they're kind of the same. Although I think specifically they were talking about why retirees like to retire in Sarasota specifically, not necessarily Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, but take it for what it's worth. So I put together a list of some of the top reasons that we have seen why retirees love Lakewood Ranch. First and foremost, active lifestyles with world-class amenities. There's no question that that is why anybody, let alone retirees, love Lakewood Ranch. It's a great place to stay active, from golf courses to tennis courses, pickleball, bocce ball, fitness centers, miles. I think there are 150 miles of walking and biking and hiking trails here. And there's just a neighborhood for everybody. There's like 40 plus neighborhoods in Lakewood Ranch. Vibrant social opportunities. Now, you can either socialize or not socialize, but for the most part, if you're a retiree, you kind of like to be out and about and really appreciating the strong sense of community that is in Lakewood Ranch. Many neighborhoods have social clubs, organized activities and events that makes it much easier for people to meet people and get new friends, from wine tastings to karaoke night. We went to Del Webb this past weekend for a fundraiser and a concert, raised a lot of money, got to see a great band, and it was a great time. Access to healthcare. Yes, Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch both have top-notch healthcare system. Lakewood Ranch has Lakewood Ranch Medical Center. Sarasota has Sarasota Memorial Hospital, Doctors Hospital. There's Manatee Memorial Hospital. There's a ton of doctors' office or hospitals here. A huge reason why retirees love Lakewood Ranch. Beautiful weather all year long. I think it's about 255 days of sunshine. Now, granted, winter does get a little cold here today. Some follow me on social media. I wore my hoodie out on my morning walk because it was like 62 degrees. I know, tiny violin, cold. My friend in Pennsylvania just told me that they're going to get some snow up there, 8 to 10 inches in the mountains, a little sprinkle down below. That's beautiful weather, which means you get to do stuff all year long. Low maintenance living, another huge reason why retirees love this area. There's a lot of neighborhoods that are either low maintenance or maintenance free, meaning that you don't have to buy a lawnmower. You don't have to buy those little clippers to clip your trees and your bushes. A lot of them all done for you. Proximity to the beaches and cultural attractions. Obviously, when it comes to cultural attractions, Sarasota has art galleries and museums. And the beaches. We have some of the most beautiful beaches in the entire country, in my opinion. Some of the most beautiful beaches in the state, in my opinion. We've got Anna Maria Island with a bunch of beaches on there, right? Cortez Beach, Bradenton Beach. We have Longboat Key, which has a lot of private beaches, a lot of not easy access beaches, but beautiful beaches nonetheless. And then, of course, we have Lido Key and Siesta Key. By the way, drop a comment down below. I did a video that got uploaded yesterday, I think, about Lido Key and Siesta Key, and another one coming talking about what it looks like after the storm. But Lido Key and Siesta Key, some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And they're not too far away. I mean, to get to Anna Maria Island, it's probably 40 minutes. Siesta Key, maybe like 30 minutes. Although you can't just get to Nokomis Beach much quicker than all of those. We started to go there. We like it. And finally, number 7 on the list of why retirees love Sarasota is diverse housing options. If you've watched my videos before, you know I always say options are good. And when it comes to housing, specifically in Lakewood Ranch, but even in Sarasota, you can find single-family homes in the $300,000 range. Of course, you can find a single-family home in Sarasota on the water. I think there's one listed right now for $28 million. But even in Lakewood Ranch, $300,000 to about $7 million and everything in between. It is just great for not only retirees, but for everybody. What do you think? Are you thinking about possibly retiring here? If you are, do me a favor, drop that comment down below. And if we don't get to it today, if you're watching live, drop those comments. And if you happen to watch it on the replay, drop those comments down below too. We'll get to them today, tomorrow, next week, be able to be a topic of conversation on another live stream. All right, so Thanksgiving is upon us. Christmas is upon us. We're starting to see the decorations come out. We're not going to be here next week, so I want to make sure that I told you about some of the events that are coming up. Some of these are really cool. And I might go to this one because I think we are going to be here for this one. So the first one is Ponies Under the Palms. I love that name. That is Sunday, November the 24th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., so almost all day long. And this is the Mustang Club of West Central Florida. Will be holding the 32nd annual Ponies Under the Palms Mustang and Ford show on Sunday, November 24th. That is on Main Street in Lakewood Ranch. I'll put the link in the description down below, but it's Mustang Club of West Central Florida.com. Huge name. It's for free. If you want to put your car in there, it's not for free, but there's links in that description, or there's information in that description. And then, of course, Santa. He's coming to Lakewood Ranch. He is. And there's 2 opportunities. There's the festive photos with Santa at Market, and that is every Sunday, I think starting December, 10 a.m. to noon. And that is at the Sundays Farmers Market, which is at Waterside in Sarasota County in Lakewood Ranch. And then next up is the festive photos with Santa at Ranch Night Wednesdays, which is also in Sarasota County, Waterside. I've done a bunch of videos there before. Ranch Night Wednesdays, they close down the streets at Waterside, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Food trucks, cornhole, but you get to take some photos with Santa. Was that it? Did I only have those 3 events? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I did have only those 3 events. All right. So the last thing I want to share with you is what I like to share with you every week, which is a little bit of good news. We always get people going, do I gotta get any deal on real estate item? And the answer is yes. So I found this one, and this was at a Bungalow Walk, which I will preface by saying I went there today to record a home tour video. It is the 4th time I've gone there. 4th time. If you were listening from Bungalow Walk, 4th time I've been there to take a video at your 3 model homes. And I could do it. First time I went to go there, they one model was available. Talked to the sales associate. So it was like on a Monday. She's like, "Oh, they're cleaning the chew next door. They should be ready by Thursday." I'm like, "Great, I can't be here Thursday, but I'll come back next week." So I came back a week later, like on Tuesday. Nope, still only one model available. The other two were work being done. Came back another day, nobody there, no signage, no nothing. I went back today. There was a sign saying closed. They'll be open tomorrow. Anyway, I'm not going to hold that against Bungalow Walk because I like that community. Wait for the video. But I'm going to show you these incentives. There are $20,000 towards closing costs, and get a load of this. Buyer's agents receive 3% commission off the base price. Now, I know you don't care about that one, but here's why I wanted to bring that up. First of all, this is going to be in the description down below. Here's why I wanted to bring that up about the compensation for buyer's agents. If you ever go into a model home, there's a sales associate there. Super nice, super friendly, extremely knowledgeable. We're friends with lots of them. However, that being said, those sales associates work for and represent the seller, which in this case is the builder. And at the time of this recording, they are still paying buyer's agent compensation. In this case, it happens to be 3%. So the cost to you is nothing for the moment. And the reason that I bring that up is because you want somebody who represents you, who's got your best interest at hand. Now, you will still be able to have a conversation with that sales associate working for the lender. However, we will work for you and represent you. And here's how you do that. Super easy. If you go into a model home, you just let them know before you have any conversation that you already have a real estate agent. There's my name right there, Adam Miller. Right? Right there. Yes, Adam Miller with the 941 Livestock Group. Or if you happen to go to the visitor center, which is on Main Street in Lakewood Ranch, you can register us as your real estate agent. And no matter what new community you go to, they'll have a list that we are your real estate agents. Got it? Hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. We do this every Thursday, although we're not going to do this next Thursday because next Thursday is Thanksgiving. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. My advice to you, don't talk about politics. And be grateful 364 other days of the year and not just Thanksgiving. That's it. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate you guys watching. My name is Adam Miller with the 941 Lifestyle Group. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a lifestyle matchmaker. My contact information is down below. If you have any questions at all about the real estate market here, reach out to me anytime. See you next week, everybody. Or not next week, the following week.